Sometimes I have to hold on tight, but I'm gonna have a good time. But I'm here for the ride.
Speaking of being here for the ride, it's a lot of crazy fucking rides that are going on around the world right now. Can men get pregnant?
What the fuck?
Focus. You gotta have that confidence, right? You gotta be like, yo, I'm fucking better than everybody. I will fucking smash everybody. Have a crippling insecurity, a fear of not being good at all, of being shit. And that fear drives. Big T, what's up, brother? It's good to see you. Good to see you. We finally here in the Marbella podcast studio, the one and only.
Amazing.
How does it feel?
Amazing place, man. Good energy. The people behind it doing a great job. Great energy, like I say.
Yeah. Is this your first podcast?
Ever.
Ever?
Ever.
Well, I'm happy to bust your podcast virginity today.
Easy, Tiger.
So let's get right into it, man. You have an amazing energy you bring to the people around you. You're so positive. You seem very introspective, like you've lived many lives. And I think when we spoke yesterday, you said that you've been so many different places in your life, and you've got to a point of maturity where you are able to reflect and you can transfer that good energy to other people. Why do you feel the need to share that blessing with other people? Why is that important to you?
The biggest gift we have, God bless us with, is to give. When you give something to someone, it's an amazing feeling, isn't it? Do you understand? You know what? And I'm giving my gift, what I've been gifted with. Do you understand? My experiences, the things I treasured, the things I didn't treasure. Do you understand? And all I can do is be me. I think that's the biggest gift all of us can be. If I give something to someone, the energy behind it is good. But if it's material, it has an expiry date. Does that make sense? Where wisdom is internal and it lasts forever. It's everlasting. We get wisdom through every experience, every interaction, depending on how we open up to it. Do you understand? So perception is everything. If I go into a situation with you and I'm very judgmental about you, I'm not going to hear or receive the message you're there to give me, because we don't come across people by accident. Do you understand? They're there at the right time, right place. If your heart and mind's open, you can receive the message you're meant to receive, And it took me a long while to get that, because coming up as a kid, I was very quiet. Do you understand? I never wanted to make mistakes. I didn't like embarrassment. Do you understand? So I was very quiet. So I always took the safe road in regards to dealing with people, But in my mind, a lot was going on. I played it safe. Then certain times you can't play it safe. Sometimes you have to show your truth. Everyone has to show their truth at some stage, So, but if you show your truth, you learn how to deal with your emotions and how you interact with people. For a long time, I was very caged in the sense that, let's call it conformity. Whoever you needed me to be on that day, I'd be on that day. Do you understand? Because I'm exercising your needs and fucking you off, so to speak. Then I said, okay. I went through a stage where I was half losing my shit. I was very angry. The emotions surfaced. All the bottled up emotions surfaced. Felt like a madman. Do you understand?
What age was this?
It was at late age, after 30, I would say.
Oh.
Do you understand? I was very expressive in the sense that, strong moral code, which I'm very grateful to God for and my parents. That was always intact. That was never but in regards to losing my shit, I always kept it underneath a lid because I didn't want to upset people. And
did you ever get emotional or angry? Like you ever burst out and start cursing people? Ah!
Yeah, I did at a late age. That's what I'm talking about. Because people never expect that shit from me, And people and close people did take advantage because they know T ain't gonna flip. Do you understand?
They took your kindness for weakness and then they started.
But when I was at school, I used to fight all the time in regards to I didn't like injustice. Do you understand? So, but I go to a place, even when I fight at school, I would not remember what happened because you go to full surrender. Does that make sense? Because I go from extreme composure to full surrender. Like this situation's happening, and you know, like it's a hairpin trigger. Like you know, once it's pulled, it's pulled. Like there's no
Right.
coming back from it.
Right.
I mean, and that's why I like training sometimes because you know when you train, you can exercise that because
Go all out.
yeah, you go all out. And I believe life is like that. You have to go all out to control everything. Not control everything because you can't control everything, but to master yourself because every emotion we have matches different experiences. You know what I mean? It's like I got Arsenal guns. I have to use the right gun for the right situation. Let's not use guns. It's a bit violent. Do you understand? But I got arsenal of emotions. They have to be applied to the right things. If I bottle shit up and someone pisses me off, I've expressed everything on the wrong person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, I went through a stage where I was just flipping. They saying, right, like, people are looking at me like, this is one unstable motherfucker.
Right.
Do you understand? But but that was a lesson I had to learn. Then when I got through that stage, I understand them reactions empowered other people. And every time I got angry, bro, it cost me something. It cost big. When I say it cost big, like it cost me something big. Certain times it almost cost me my freedom.
This is back in the UK.
It's back in the UK. Do you understand? Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, and this is why I know, okay, you have to channel aggression and use it in the right places. Because aggression is a part of us, but what are you using it for?
Yeah.
You know, you can't just use it to lash out. We have emotions, we have to express them, but we don't lose control in that sense.
Right.
It's like letting a mad dog off a lead. You try putting it back on. You know, so I've learned, and I've learned to understand certain things are just ego. And I learned one serious lesson in life. God taught me this lesson. If I feel angry, yeah, don't necessarily, I might be angry at you, but you'll never feel angry. You might not. You'll never feel how I feel. Why would I want to put myself through them emotions? That's hurting yourself. That's almost suicide.
Right.
Then, yeah, you have to realize in life, yeah, I learned this from a preacher, I think Miles Monroe. He says, you know what, think about the consequence before you make the decision. Because that's the end product, the consequences. You make that decision, there's consequences, good or bad. So I learned that. I learned patience. I learned, you know what? Like, there's a book I read, it's called The Four Agreements. The Four Agreements is be impeccable with your word. Don't take nothing personal. Don't assume and do your best. Your best ain't gonna be the same on every day. You gotta realize that. Yeah? So there's no comparison between yesterday and today. They're different. You're just doing your best today. But them books give me a level of freedom I never had in my life. That book there particularly. Because when I was young, we grew up in London in the sense that smiling was a weakness in the sense that if someone looked at you, look them straight in the eye. You let them know who you are just by looking at them. That you do not fear them. I ain't got time for that shit no more. In the sense that, okay, what you look, hey, how you doing? I'm cracking on with my day. If you want to take it there, you'll find out. But I don't even want to take it there, to be honest, because it's going to cost me something.
100.
But if my back's against the wall, it's an experience I have to have. So I don't fear it either.
Speaking of growing up in London, how was your childhood? Because in you are a black man in London. I'm assuming you were raised around black people, like white people mostly. What was it?
Listen to this, yeah. First, when I moved to London, I was born in Nigeria. From 6, I moved to London. My dad lived in Maidaville, and my stepmom lived in Brixton. But we lived with my stepmom. So I grew up like in a proper rough estate. You couldn't ride your bike down the road. Do you understand? You couldn't let no one have a go on your bike.
Yeah.
Because you might not get that bike back.
What was the demographic though?
Huh?
What was the racial demographic?
Blacks.
Okay.
Yeah. Then my dad had a house in Maidavale. Then my mum come over. Then we lived in Paddington Green. So this was now. So imagine this, yeah? They've put us in a housing estate surrounded by rich people. But this is like a mixed demographic. So, but hood still. Does that make sense to you? So like we're talking about 2 minutes away, Madonna lived. So the type of shit I would get is like I'm walking down the road, police will say, wow, you fit the description. I mean, I used to run for Westminster, that's the borough I lived in. Police have come on the running track in the middle of my training session. You fit the description. Yeah? Coming home, like, and I was talking to someone about this the other day. I started to believe I fit the description. So in my sense, my heart's real. So I don't like to make people feel pain or scared. I don't like to inflict fear on people. So growing up, if I'm walking in the street, if I see a lady, a white lady, or let's say black, any lady walking through the street, I would cross the road so they're not fearful. But that's wrong. They're going to think what they want to think anyway. This is life. You cannot change your way to try and change anyone's thoughts. You've got to be real. They got to deal with that. That's their perception of things. That's not you. But I used to think, I don't want this lady to think, rah, like I'm fed up with this shit. Let me cross the road.
No, I get it.
And let me make her feel safe to lower my confidence. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Because when you are removing yourself based on what the other person's expectation or perception of you are, then you kind of begin to assume that identity. You think
you're
that
shutting yourself down.
Exactly.
And I've done that for years. I've done that for probably 28 years of my life.
Well, in their defense, bro, you are a big, black, scary motherfucker, bro.
Bro, like I was at school them days. You understand? So it's like, even now I don't give a shit. If you're scared, you're scared. I'm not gonna go out there to scare you. But it's mad now because that's one thing I love about Spain. I could be the biggest black motherfucker ever. Hola, there's no scared. Do you understand? Their thing is hola, and because I believe we're at a point of evolution now, people read energy. They don't know how they do it, but they do.
On a subconscious level.
On a deep level. Because I'm on a few people, not few people, because everyone has this ability. So let's get that out of the way. That's an ego thing there. Everyone's got the ability to make everyone feel safe. Yeah? But people recognize that in me for some reason or the other. I get an old man, like he lives in my estate where I live now. I had bird shit on my car for 4 days, yeah? The old guy is probably about 75. This is why I love people so much, yeah? I wake up one morning, yeah? And my car's clean. And I know it was him, because he kept on telling me, right, wipe the bird shit off things, gonna damage your paint. Old white guy. But this is the flip side of what I grew up with in a sense of, if this was an old white guy, imagine this, yeah? This is fucked up. I'm going to tell you something, yeah? I was playing with a door at my dad's house, yeah? An old white man slapped me with a book when I was younger.
Why?
I don't know.
For no reason?
For no reason.
Wow.
But the mad thing, yeah? At the point, I didn't think nothing of it. I went to see a therapist about 2 months ago. And she said, this trauma is still there. She helped me get rid of it. But you don't realize. Because you think, okay, yeah, these things, I'm hard, I can take these things. But if you don't release the emotion, it stays within your DNA.
100%. And that's one thing I was going to ask you about. How was your, did they have like racism in the UK?
I was blessed, because where I went to the later part of primary school and secondary school, it wasn't really there because we had a mixed demographic. We had Filipinos, Colombians, blacks, rich, poor. We went to a school called St. George's. Do you understand? It was a Maidavale. But we had such a lovely demographic. This is why race ain't a thing for me. I look straight through the color. My kids are mixed race. It was never a thing. And I thank God that it wasn't a thing for me. it was never a thing for me. Like growing up, like I never thought, "Rah, boy, he's been racist." I had a couple of racist jokes that I even laughed at because I know it wasn't from bad intent. Does that make sense? Because we threw these jokes at each other.
No matter what race it was,
No matter
everybody
race,
had it.
we
Everybody
had
could get it.
Does that make sense to you?
100%.
So it's like it was never like, okay, that guy's a racist prick. Like we had love in our school. Like
That's beautiful.
everyone was like Indians, everything. And the mad thing, what I learned was at school I was a bit of a not a thug, you understand, but I used to fight a lot. But then I went on a school trip one time, yeah? That's why you must never judge people, yeah? The people that you call so-called nerds and all that, yeah? If you have a conversation with them, yeah? They're the funniest fuckers in the world, bruv. Like, it's mad. And like this is what life and God has taught me. When I have mad experiences, I always treasure them because I look at them differently. But I never felt a way to say, like, when we went on the school trip, like, I went away for 4 or 5 days or something. But I would go to school and give them a handshake because of the connection we had on that school trip. You know what I mean? And I wasn't ashamed to do so. Everyone is magnificent if you give them a chance to be. Everybody. And you got to recognize that because they could be giving you the biggest jewel of your life. But if you brush it off, I'm not trying to hear what he's trying to say. He's not like me.
I have a good friend back at home. He's an older gentleman. And he always says if Jesus or Muhammad was walking amongst us today, people would walk right past him because they were considered the peasants back then. So that's a very important point you made. Like it's been plenty of times that when I put my ego to the side and stop thinking that, because this person is poor, because this person presents himself in a certain way, I don't have to listen to them.
Yeah, of course.
I've been pleasantly surprised many times by learning something new and like, damn, like this motherfucker right here really just...
Yeah, because angels speak through people. Even we have a conversation. Like sometimes, like I write a lot and I look in my phone, I write notes. But bro, like when I read, it's like I've wrote a letter to myself in the future on the day that I needed it. I'm thinking, who's that guy? That guy is mad intelligent.
Right.
He's not the guy I'm feeling like today. So the angels speak through us. So like, even when I'm speaking to you in regards to motivating you to do something, sometimes I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
It's God channeling that energy
Exactly.
through you. Right.
So like, it's never in my hands. I don't, like, from today, this is the good thing about living in the present, yeah? From today till tomorrow, we never know what's going to happen. And it shows surrender. It shows to say, you know what, boy, like, I'm here for the ride. I'm going to have a good time. Sometimes I have to hold on tight, but I'm going to have a good time. But I'm here for the ride.
Speaking of being here for the ride, it's a lot of crazy fucking rides that are going on around the world right now. Can men get pregnant?
What the fuck?
Simple question.
I don't watch media, so I don't want to know. What the fuck? What type of question is that?
That's
Why would that pop up in your fucking head?
That's a ongoing debate in the U.S. right now, and if you say the wrong answer, then you get in trouble for it. So I wanted to know, if this was something...
Let me be blunt. If we're gonna talk about this shit, let's be real.
Go be real.
You understand? Yeah. Like, energy is energy. Do you understand? Yeah, masculine energy, feminine energy. But what you're born as, you must be. Does that make sense to you? Yeah? Because when these people, like, I'm trying to be politically correct about this. I'm not going to say these people. When any individual goes home, even if, can you look yourself in the mirror and say, am I true to this? I can look straight through me and say, through and through I'm T. Deep down, any individual trying to be something they're not, whether it's pretending to be a gangster or gender change or anything, you have to ask yourself the question, is this me through and through? I was born with a dick, so there's no chance. You have to, it's like taking, when something's loading and it goes 10%, blah, 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 99%. Even if at 99%, if it stops, it's never going to upload. It crashes. You dig? You seen that on the computer, innit?
Yeah. It just stays right there.
So you have to be true. Am I 100% T? Was I 100% T today? Failures, successes, was I T in these situations? When I'm having the most negative thoughts, was I T in my actions?
I think you've been blessed and fortunate enough to be able to kind of cultivate your own mindset the way that works for you. You reaffirm who you are inside. You know who you are as a person and what your goals and motivations are. I think that today, and I'm particularly concerned about like my child and his generation. My son is 13, and when he goes to certain schools, when he goes to school, and it's been a few of them now, some of the teachers will say like they them. They are. It's really a male, but they want to be called a female, and I think it could be really confusing for our children these days.
It's very confusing. Like they got these toilets that what are they? Non-gender toilets or something.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous situation right there. Do you understand? And like everyone's afraid to get sued. Sue me, please. But we'll realize the truth. If we break it down, we have to work with the truth. Yeah? If we work everything off emotions, yeah, we're fucked. We have to express and exercise our emotions. But from an early stage when television, radio, they've made our emotional strength or the capacity to understand and use emotion very weak, because we don't restrict emotion. We use it in the right way and we direct the energy in the right way through exposure. Right, you watch a film, it's an action film, you're like, whoa. Do you understand, yeah? They're triggering your emotions. So your emotions are jumpy. Do you understand? Always jumpy. Bro, I go in the water, yeah? In the sea. The first thing I'm thinking, I can't see what's underneath me. I watch Jaws. I watch all these fucked up films where it's gone wrong. Does that make sense to you, yeah? So there's emotional triggers. So if we're having a discussion with how someone feels, yeah? What's his stimulus? Boil it down to what's his stimulus? Why does he feel like this? Do you understand, yeah? Why everyone's free to be who they are. Yeah? I'm not questioning this, yeah? Freedom is the ultimate thing we're here. But if you ever abuse freedom, yeah? It will imprison you. Any way you abuse freedom, it will imprison you. Whether it's in your mind, whether you break the law, it will imprison you. Okay. So you're giving someone freedom of speech. Freedom to tell them how they feel. Does that make sense, yeah? We're then condoning things that are not, if we look at black and white, we're creating gray areas.
Right, out of nothing.
Do you understand?
Trying to get blood from a rock.
Mate, like, you don't create gray areas because the people at the top are doing some fucked up shit. Let's be real. Yeah? They're doing, like, mad shit. So they probably put in a situation where they have to accept this shit. Otherwise, dirt will come out on them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mad. It's like, if it's a conversation, I'd rather skip because it makes my blood boil a bit but it's something we have to address. It's come up for a reason.
Gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
Gotta talk about it. I mean, that reminds me, man. I took a trip to Tanzania.
Yeah.
I took my son out there, and I had my boy Rick, and we stayed with the Hadzabe tribe.
Yeah.
The Hadzabe tribe is an indigenous tribe to Tanzania who hasn't quite
westernized.
Westernized. They still live in the bush.
Perfect.
They have their own traditions. They have their language where they use they click their tongues to speak. It was an amazing experience.
Real life.
Real life. Like
Real life.
they eat what they catch. If they don't go out, if they don't go out that
hunting,
day and hunt,
well,
they don't eat.
Just the discussion me and you was having yesterday. Who would eat meat if they had to go and kill a chicken and pluck his feathers and gut it?
Yeah, exactly. But the reason why I brought that up is because when I got there, I saw the gender roles. And like I saw it in real time. I saw how the men interacted with themselves. They normally congregated around the campfire. The women had a separate campfire with the young children, and they interacted as needed. So we would go out and hunt with them, and then we catch a little rabbit or whatever type of animal, and we brought it back. They would immediately go give it to the wife or the women to skin it, to cook it, to prepare it, and then they would set up their sticks. They would cook it, and at nighttime is a time where the man and the wife will go and lay down together.
Of course.
But during the day, everybody operates separately.
Let me tell you something. We're men, first and foremost, yeah? If you spent, let's say you're a man, and there's 9 women, and you hang around with them 9 women all day, it's energy, You become like what you surround yourself with. Iron sharpens iron, innit? That's what they say, yeah? So, you know what? If you are with elite men, you got nothing, you got to be elite by default. Not by being in uniform with them. Do you understand? But by your identity and the unity. They've invited you in for a reason, whether it's your energy, whether it's your money. I'm not rich, but what's the wealth that surrounds me? I'm fucking the richest guy. Does that make sense to you, yeah? So I don't fret, but I come into a room like I'm richer than everyone because it's energy. Do you understand? And these people surround themselves, they gravitate towards themselves because of who they are. They're strong men, they hunt together. And you look at the women. They don't try and be men. They don't confuse the energy. Do you understand? So like a woman will go to work. God help me on this subject because I'm probably going to get a bit of stick on this one.
You'll get canceled.
Yeah, a woman will go to work, yeah? And she has to raise her masculine energy to deal with the men at work. But this transcends into how she deals with her man as well. Does that make sense? Because women nowadays, I think we was also having a conversation about this, yeah? They don't want to be dominated by men. But we're not here to dominate them. We're here to give them freedom, be who we are. But if they bring their masculine energy to the table and yours is there, you might as well be fucking gay. Do you understand? Because it doesn't work. That's why there's so much clashes.
Doesn't mix well.
Of course. I'm not going to take a feminine role in a relationship because God didn't make me feminine. I understand feminine energy and what to do with it. But in my role as a man, I'm going to play a man's role.
I think we're starting to lose that. Not even lose it, but I think it's just the constant barrage of mixed messages that are being sent out into the world. And that's when it goes to like curating your reality. It's like, where are we getting our news from? Where we get our information from? It's being programming.
It's manipulation on the deepest and highest level. It's exposure. Whatever you're exposed to, they can use you to manipulate you. It's overrun of information and lack of intuition.
100%. That's why they call it TV programming.
Yeah.
They program.
Everyone says this shit, but still goes to watch TV.
But now we have the TVs in our hands all day long.
All day long. Everything is done through the blower, the phone, yeah? Because I open my gate from my house, I've got to use the phone. Like, I've got to come on the phone so many times a day. But, okay. What let me ask you a deep question. Listen to this very carefully, yeah? Okay, turn your phone around.
Right now?
Right now. What is it? What's that? What do you call that in front of you?
Notifications.
No. What's the thing in front of you?
Screensaver. Background. Okay.
Go back to the word screen, yeah? If you look up the definition of screen in the dictionary, yeah? It's something that blocks light. Yeah? Light is what we receive from up there. Okay? Look up the definition. Look what screen says, the definition of it.
Wow.
If we're busy being distracted, yeah, how are we going to receive light and vibrate on a different level? Everyone's got their head down. You know, when your head's down, yeah, you go into a sort of trance mode where your thoughts spiral. If you look up all the time, you got a clear mind. I promise you, try it for one day. I'm not saying this out of perfection because I still look at my screen because it's the way I connect with those I love. Or how I have to choose to express myself these days. Mm-hmm. Because if I bottle it all up, it's a time bomb.
I think that's one of the the most important skills that a person can learn today is how to be able to manage that screen time. Because like I catch myself, you know, just in the bed for no reason, just scrolling.
Throw the fucking thing away. I promise you.
That's what I want to do sometimes.
You know the thing, yeah? I promise you, yeah? Like, I went through a stage, before I left to here, I went through a stage where, and this was my point of evolution, when I put the phone down. Because there was no more distractions. I used to have a day where I put the phone in the boot for a day.
You don't look at it at all.
Off 24 hours. I would walk into work. My ex-fiance would say, right, where you been? Say, do I owe you anything? It's like, because people have that expectation that they have access to you. No one should have access to you at any given time of the day, apart from, like now, I'm talking to you, yeah? And this is something I try and exercise and do my best at. I'm not perfect at it, but I'm still a work in progress. Yeah? If I'm with you now, yeah, this is where God's put me. Nothing, not my kids, nothing is more important than this moment. Because this is where I am. I can't be in England with my kids. I have to be present where I am and assert my presence wherever I am. Undiluted.
So you have that pure energy.
Where I'm supposed to be. Remember, the present is your bridge to the future. How the fuck are you choosing to build that bridge?
So often you'll be physically somewhere, but mentally you're thinking about what happened yesterday. You're thinking about who you got to talk to tomorrow. Right. It's like, how would you recommend that, you know, a person could get grounded into the present moment? How does that happen?
You got to learn to meditate. And then once you start meditating, you have to understand, yeah? And I also said this to you yesterday. If you're on your purpose, everything finds you. You don't have to search. All these things, yeah, they exercise. Anything you see on the phone exercises shit we shouldn't be doing. When you're searching. In life, yeah, in real life, yeah, you don't have to search for what's for you. I promise you this. You do not have to search for it. Look at the blessings you've had in life.
Everything happened as a result.
Just like that.
As a result of where I was going.
Where you was going, your experiences, where you was, where you are, where you're going, like you said. It wasn't because you searched for it, because we got this motion in our head. I got to graft hard, I got to work. Yeah, you can monetize and make money. But half these people that make the money, there's no fulfillment. I'm not saying don't make money. Make money. Make money, yeah? Because it's energy as well. Don't restrict that flow. But because they're hell-bent on this thing, there's no fulfillment on it. Because all their energy is going there. And you find someone who just does something. One day, they just bust overnight. Because they're well within their purpose. I promise you, everything that gravitates towards you and your purpose. I was in my purpose when you found me. I didn't come looking for you. I didn't go fucking DC. Do you understand, yeah? Mm-hmm. Every great person I've met has found me my purpose. Because that's where my value is. I took a month off work. No phone calls. Because I'm used in my purpose. I'm valuable in my purpose. If I'm at my purpose, I'm not valuable to no one.
Speaking of your purpose, what routines do you have for yourself where you're able to cultivate that purpose to a deeper level?
You know what? It's mad because I'll go backwards. We all search for love outside ourselves. whether we want to have children, whether we want to have a missus and everything. I learned to love myself at 30. That's where everything changed. Yeah? And you discover your attributes. Once you love yourself, you know who you are. Yeah? You discover your attributes and you say, why am I like this? You have to question it first. But don't question it in a negative way. Like, we're all created differently. Then accept it. Then how do I cultivate this? How do I sustain the blessings God gave me? So my thing is solitude. Meditation, solitude. Because when you find solitude, yeah, your intuition becomes your sharpest sword.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a man, when I'm very close to people, I trust their opinions, which can be dangerous. So I don't stay really that close to anyone, because I've got to trust me first. Trust God, then me first. No questioning it. Because I'm a very good listener. But I know I can't take everything for gospel, what everyone's saying. I extract what I need and what God's showing me from it, then I move based on that, or I don't move at all.
Mm-hmm.
But solitude will teach you how to sharpen your intuition. And my solitude was by default, because God said, you got to be alone.
What did that look like? Was that you in the house? Did you go somewhere for that solitude?
No, just remember, okay. I moved. You know what? When the solitude started, I was always around people training. Then I had a boxing fight coming up. But then I used to walk around a lake. That's where I found true solitude. I leave my phone in the gym and I walk around the lake. I used to get messages and everything. I never knew about grounding or something, yeah? But something said, right, T, take off your shoes. Yeah? Someone explained that to me later. I was thinking, how did I do that naturally? No one told me, bro. Intuition is your most powerful tool. Imagine your tutor is inside, yet you're searching outside for someone to teach you shit.
Mm. The master
There's
teacher.
books on now how to get gal, be a better man. Everything that you already have stored in you, there's a book on everything. Why am I looking outside for this? The instruction is written within me. There's a film called The Book of Eli. You ever seen it? Denzel. Mm-hmm. You see at the end when everything's in him. So everything that's in you and you express, that's your book. That's your book of life. Because I don't want to. We might share an experience and I read the same book as you, but we're still going to see it differently. So I'd rather talk from. That's why sometimes I don't want to read no book. I don't want to hear no one's shit. I just want to listen and be quiet and see what's God telling me, what's the Holy Ghost telling me, what's Jesus telling me, where am I at? What am I telling myself?
I realized very early. It was a moment in my life where I was depressed. I think I had with this girl. It was a very unhealthy situation. I was just down in the fucking dumps. And I remember, this is how I found my solitude. I remember just always being in a negative mental state, which is like the definition of depression. You're just down. And I had to ask myself, I said, why are these thoughts on my mind and why are they always negative?
Yeah.
And then that led me to certain books about meditation. And then I remember like what meditation does for you, it separates you from the thought.
Of course.
So when you
become the observer.
You become the observer, right? So when you are able to think something and say, you don't have to identify with that thought.
Of course.
So over time, I learned how to meditate. And the more and more I did it, the more I realized how powerful our mind is and what that does for us, man. It was such a beautiful thing. It was actually one time I got so deep into it. I still need to go back, to be honest. That's a great conversation.
Even me, I have to find, when shit goes tits up, I find my way back. But this is what we do as human beings, yeah? This is why the world sucks us in. Because when shit's okay, we don't do this shit.
Exactly.
We wait till shit hits the fan. But anybody, if you're looking at this video, whatever saved you from any bad situation, keep it in your life daily and appreciate it. Because you're going to run back to that. But why are you running back? Why are you not using it to evolve?
Right.
And I'm not talking I'm talking on the level that I'm talking to myself when I'm talking to everybody out there. Because we all kick the stands off when the wheels are moving. You need them stands.
Right.
Them wheels need to stay off the ground when you're resting.
Right. So I did a 10-day silent retreat. And I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah,
So
I heard about that.
I flew to Mexico.
Yeah.
And for 10 days, we attended lectures every day. We did yoga, but we were completely silent. And that really taught me how our minds are like monkeys. It's chained to a post. It just wants to jump and go in this direction, that direction. And no matter how uncomfortable I got when we were sitting for one of our, 2-hour-long meditations, imagine sitting for fucking 2 hours. It's insane. But I learned a lot from that, man. I learned a lot about myself and about how my mind works and about who I am and about, and I lied to you not. I think maybe once I got back to DC a couple of weeks later, like I found myself back into the same thing.
Because everything else, yeah. That's why this is this. Let's call it the great distraction. Do you understand? Because the world, as we adapt to it, remember we still got to survive in this mad world everyone's living in. So when we go away and do these things, yeah, we feel empowered. But they overload us with so much information. Remember, yeah, that fucks you up in a sense that, okay, like I got to survive in these worlds. My loved ones are in this world. I can't just say, yeah, boom, I'm going to live in the mountains somewhere.
Right. You have to find that balance.
You have to find that balance. This is why I say you got to respect the monks then.
Yeah.
Remember we had this conversation?
Mm-hmm.
The monk will sit amongst this bullshit and he'll laugh. He won't get sucked in. The monk will not change his clothing for nothing in regards to what they wear. Do you understand? We think about what we wear. You talk about these successful guys. Some of them wear like the same clothes every day because they don't want to waste a thought. Look, I'm wearing green today. Matching trainers, everything. I have to think about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that shows how unmaterialistic they are. But yet they're still in our world, but they're not sucked in. This is why I always say, this is, like I said, this is my next thing. I want to study the monk. I want to study Jesus. Because these people are powerful, different level. And they're not even exercising their power. They're just sitting there observing. Because this is what your mind should do. Observe. Remember, yeah? Let me drop a biggest jewel you'll ever learn, yeah? We use our minds wrong. Yeah? Your mind is the biggest sense you have as a human being. It's like a sense. You know why I say this, yeah? If something enters your mind, yeah? Even if you're not truly experiencing it, yeah? You experience it emotionally. If you have a bad thought or you assume something, it exists in your mind and you carry everything with it. But this is why they say stay present with your mind. So you can absorb, you can experience everything. When you was fighting that fight, your mind was there. Your mind was thriving in experience. No time for thought. So I believe we use our minds in the wrong way. Your mind is there for you. It's a sense. Because this is why they trigger the mind. This is why you're talking about your mind being a jumping monkey. Because it's information. The mind responds to everything it's exposed to. Which it shouldn't. It's meant to be experiencing everything it's exposed to. Whether by observation or action. If it's not you, you sit there and observe it. If you're well into it, do you understand? I always use this thing. When you're making a love to a woman, that's the most present you're going to be.
Right, yeah. You didn't think about nothing else in that moment.
You surrender your mind, everything's focused. But it's a pleasant focus.
And speaking, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This brings us to a next beautiful topic. What's your what do you think about relationships? Like, what's your love life looking like, Big T?
Boy, like, you know what? I'll be real. It's hard, man. It's hard because that's the person that you're gonna be most vulnerable in front of. And I'm like, when I was young, I was very like, nah, I'm not going through that with that person. I'm not like, and I said it. Then when I said, okay, I'm open to this shit, I got burnt twice. Does that make sense to you? Like, I'm thinking, fuck.
Literally?
Not burnt, like, but like you think, rah, this don't work. Do you understand? Then I said, okay, I'm gonna be by myself because I went through a 9-year, 3-year, and a 3-year relationship. I say it like I've been in jail or something, but you understand? But
That's what it felt like, though.
Then God said, right, you got to kind of be by yourself because you're giving everything to everybody else. You don't realize who you are. You're trying to be a dad. You're trying to be the best husband. Do you understand? Then I went through a stage where I was like by myself. Then I started seeing someone. Then because I only knew how to be in a relationship like that, I went all in again. Does that make sense? And I said, okay, you know what? There's got to be a balance. I can't lose myself in this shit. Because when someone's that close to you, yeah, you got to watch and you got to give them time. To be honest, I've done really well because I'll say, wow, look, I can't see you for a week. I'll block her for the week because there can't be no interaction. Like, it sounds crazy, but I work too hard to get where I am. To let anything or anyone derail me.
You must not be dating a black woman. A black woman would be like, what the fuck you mean you going away for a week?
Yeah, but
what's that bitch name?
To be honest with you, she was really understanding.
Really?
And that's what made me love her even more. Because she was more mature. She was really understanding because she never understood. She never seen it before. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, wow, okay, boom, I've got to do this for a week. But she still didn't fathom it because we went separate ways. Do you understand? Yeah. But I had to but if I went all in deep, I would have been fucked. But I think having a good woman by your side is one of the best things you can have in life. Like
why is that? What does that look like?
Let me tell you something, yeah? Let's be real, we're men, yeah? Any experience you share with a woman, yeah, is heightened. Even if you're just walking down the beach with her. If I walk down the beach with you, it's not the same thing, though. That makes sense? Yeah, what the fuck, bro? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But women have an immense ability to let us appreciate things better. So I love a good woman in my life. I love women in my life. You know what I mean? Because they heighten life. There's a thing. You give a woman something, she'll make it better. Do you understand? You give her sperm, she creates kids. I mean, you bring, like the hunters bring out food, she prepares the food and makes it something special. So
it's a team.
It's a team.
Mm-hmm.
But there's roles. Everyone knows their role.
Mm-hmm.
Without being disrespectful.
Right. And it's not that one is better than the other. It's just we're complementing.
Yeah.
It's the yin and the yang. Yin yang.
That's it. We can't. But that's what I'm saying. You can't both be the same. Right. So I believe, like right now I'm single, but my intention is not to stay single. I want a good woman. Do you understand? Because that's your best friend as well, because the shit she sees, no one else will ever see. And that's someone you got to be able to trust to be most vulnerable in front of. And she has to protect your vulnerability. She has to protect your integrity, your dignity. And then she has to tell you who the fuck you are when you forget. So I believe in a good woman. But a lot of women, like the women we have these days, they've been through a lot of trauma, bro. And it's not on them. It's the generation before us that scarred them. So they feel like they got to be men now. And this is what I talk about karmic cycle. We got to change that shit. When I'm nice to women, they see it as a weakness. But they don't get it. But I'm never going to treat my wife like an enemy or the man them. I'm going to show her love, whether she likes it or not. If she don't understand and appreciate that love, she walks out the door. It's not that I'm a weak man. Do you understand? But it's not for me to demonstrate my strength on her.
You do that in other ways.
Yeah, or try and jeopardize her freedom by trying to control her. My bitch ain't got to do shit. That's what she wants to do. If it doesn't fall in line with my purpose, she's going to leave by default. I don't have to chase her out. And not my bitch, by the way. It's not that. But you dig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, right, someone's telling me what, your wife should be cooking at home. That's none of your fucking business. It's your wife cooking at home. You know what I mean? My household is private. Focus on yours.
Beautiful. And on that note, T, it's been an absolute pleasure to sit here and chop it up with you, man. You have a lot of wisdom and insight to pass on to the people.
It's amazing, man. It's
been
a conversation, isn't it?
It's been good.
It's a conversation.
Amazing, brother. Thank you.